Hello, Namaskar everyone. I hope you guys are doing great. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about a very interesting transit of Mercury coming ahead, right, in the sign of Scorpio. And we are not only going to study the transit of Mercury in the sign of Scorpio, but we are also going to study today the retrogression of Mercury happening in the sign of Scorpio only, right? So let's get started with it. But before that, if you guys are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get regular updates. Also, you can check out the link in the description box, www.anmollastrology.com. Under the readings and unique reading section, you can book a personal reading for yourself. Also, you can sign up for courses under the courses option. Right? So let's get started with Mercury's transit in the sign of Scorpio. So Mercury is going to transit in the sign of Scorpio on 24th of October 2025 and is going to be there till 23rd of November 2025. While it will go retrograde in the zodiac sign of Scorpio in the nakshatra of Anuradha. At approximately 12 degrees 38 minutes of Anuradha, it is going to go retrograde and move back in the same sign. And it will also shift the sign to the sign of Libra because it is going to be retrograde till 29th of November. But today, we are just going to understand its retrogression in the sign of Scorpio because this video is going to be all about Mercury in the sign of Scorpio and Mercury retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. So it is going to be retrograde in Scorpio from 10th of November till 23rd of November. So as to learn this or understand this, first we need to know what the sign of Scorpio and the 8th house is, and then what is the traits of Mercury and how do we combine them. So first of all, the sign of Scorpio, it's one which is very feared by the others. It's definitely a very, very intense, emotional. It is a water sign. It is a sign which can create sudden changes. Changes can always be good and bad, right? So the sign of Scorpio is ruled by Mars, and it is the natural 8th house, which represents our joint assets, secret income, research area, sudden ups and downs, shift of residence, what we desire secretively. This is the house which is going to hide the intense side of ours. So Scorpio is deep, transformative, intense, and full of sudden changes, full of secrets. And whereas Mercury is the planet of intelligence, how we understand the information, how we adjust, how we adapt. Mercury is our willpower also because it's the natural ruler of the 3rd house. We do consider Mars as the power, Mars as the courage and willpower, but we ignore the fact that originally the 3rd house is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is also going to decide a lot about how do we take participation in intense situations. How do we take care of sudden events and intense situations of our life? You know, Mercury is the most important planet, I believe, because Mercury is your nervous system. Mercury is going to give the signals to trigger that action within you, within your body. So Mercury is jealousy, Mercury is vengeance, Mercury is your ability to change, to accept newness, to be advanced. For every change, for every little thing, you would require the energy of Mercury. So Mercury coming into the sign of Scorpio, it is coming into the domain of Mars. So Mercury acts differently into the two different energies of Mars. One is Aries and one is Scorpio. In Aries, it becomes more of an action oriented Mercury. Action, actively participate in activities, in communication, in the action process. And in the sign of Scorpio, it becomes the mastermind. In the sign of Scorpio, it becomes excellent investigator, a person who wants to know every piece of information possible, because Mercury is your curiosity. Mercury is your ability to learn, ability to find out things. Whenever I see the prominence of Mercury, one thing always come into my mind, that if a person has a prominent Mercury, like Mercury in the ascendant, or Mercury, like a person with moon in the sign of Mercury, like Virgo or Gemini, I know that these individuals are going to be the all-rounders one, right? Whenever they dive into something, they dive into the core of that thing because of the curiosity of Mercury. But depending on what zodiac sign Mercury is in, it can be restricted, it can have the freedom as well. But when it comes to the sign of Scorpio, Mercury can go into the intense depth of the information. Intense events can trigger because of Mercury's presence in the sign of Scorpio. So whenever a planet gets into any zodiac sign, it's not just planet which is affecting that zodiac sign. It's also the zodiac sign that is affecting the planet. It plays the role from the both ends. So Mercury, the planet of your curiosity, of your need to find out information, is going into the deep stuff, into secrets. Now, Mercury would have the urge to bring about or bring out the secret stuff. So we people are going to know something which was hidden and now coming out. And since we are also going to have retrogression in the zodiac sign, then it becomes more intense and attaches itself with immense amount of karma. That means that this is the energy, the period from 24th of October till 10th of November is just the shadow period, or you can say the pre-retrograde period, where the intensity will be so high of this Mercury in the sign of Scorpio. When it'll go retrograde, it will become even more intense, but start moving backward towards the sign of Libra. So then the karma with Libra is also going to attach with this placement. So what can we expect? First things, discussions of intense deep stuff, intense information, like the developing intense interest into astrology, occult, or how to get healed with intense health issues. Because 8th house is also the house of medical. It's also the house of medicines. It is also the house where the deep research happens. So naturally, our mind is going to go forward and come into a situation where we are going to dig deep for information. We are going to talk about depth of knowledge, depth of informations. And we would be subject to experience intense yet quick changes within our lives or wherever the sign of Scorpio is present. So it's like that from 24th of October till 10th of November, we are going to dive deep into the energy of Scorpio. Then the retrogression will happen and we would understand that how deep we have come. And now we need to find our way back to settling down things or to bring back balance into our life. So that is going to be the understanding. It's like that we are going to have intense transformations, intense situations in relationships in order to get back to bringing in balance into it. Like, when a couple has the very intense fight, and then they calm down, they come back to settlement, they talk about and how do we settle the situation, how do we adjust with each other, how do we settle the terms. That is what this Mercury is going to do and create. So this Mercury is going to pass from the energy of Vishakha, then from the energy of Anuradha. Vishakha is all about the energy of Jupiterian stuff. Then Anuradha, it's all about the energy of Shani, the energy of Mitra, the god of friendships and relationships. Whereas Vishakha, it is for the Indra. So first, as Mercury enters the sign of Scorpio, and on 27th of October, we will also have Mars present in this zodiac sign along with Mercury, the Karka of transformation. The planet of energy is going to come into that water domain to help this Mercury. So definitely we are going to aggressively pursue investigation, investigating deep stuff, deep information, and the information that can help us to bring about stability and growth for our future endeavors, be it be in relationships, be it be in your careers. So for the first duration till the time it is in for 3 degrees and 20 minutes, till the time it is in Vishakha Nakshatra, it is going to talk about us investigating in the information, getting the wisdom from intense activities, intense events happening. And then further down the lane, when it goes beyond 3 degrees 20 minutes, enters the nakshatra of Anuradha till 12 degrees to 38 minutes of Anuradha, it is going to give that responsibility and that consideration of dealing with the deep issues of our friendships, of our unions, and also to understand technology way better, because Anuradha is a very technological sign. Whenever I see Anuradha Nakshatra, I see and I say that this person is a tech guy, this person is a tech girl. They have some interest with innovations, some interest with technology. They always want to be upgraded. So Mercury coming in Anuradha and then going retrograde in it, that means many people are going to change their preferences related to technology, related to their understanding of technical aspects. So there can be, like, for example, people shifting from iPhone to Samsung, because now they are looking up to the new qualities, new innovations to be brought upon with Samsung, because nowadays that's a very practical example, rather I would say, because nowadays we do see that Apple is actually just giving 1 or 2 more features and launching phone. I don't know, even just I feel that way because I'm not so much of a tech person. So what looks to me, that is just 1 or 2 changes in bringing up a new phone. And rather, Samsung has done such a great innovation with its artificial intelligence, with its handle sleekness and everything, right? So I might even change that. So that's the concept that we are going to follow. But when this Mercury goes retrograde in the zodiac sign of Scorpio, what will happen? So I've repetitively said this, that then when Mercury goes retrograde, Mercury is the planet of your curiosity, of your communication. It's about you understanding your patterns, you're observing so many things. So when Mercury goes into Scorpio, it becomes quite secretive, it becomes quite observant. You will speak less, you will have limited words to talk with, but you will have such ample amount of information present in your head and in your heart that you might not express. But when it goes retrograde, it means now you have to deal with that present information in your head and in your heart, in your mind, that now you have to use that, you have to deal with that to just get done with your issues, get done with deep secretive issues get to the roots of the issues, and then get done with it and bring about a balance when it enters in the sign of Libra. So Mercury going retrograde is going to intensify its qualities within the sign of Scorpio. It will be highly intense. We can expect extremely quick and karmic events to take place in our life related, which will actually affect the stability of our life, which will actually affect the communication as well, because naturally opposite to Scorpio is the second house, the house of our assets, possessions, community, our speech, not communication, but our speech and the finances. So people are going to dive deeper into how to have a stable foundation with joint assets, with foundations. People might question their partners upon the money or the joint money that they might have. So be very careful of the money matters, of this, of where you want to invest your money, because you're going to look again, you're going to have a repetitive look on the investments, the joint investments that you have made with your partner. And since 8th house is the natural, eighth signs, Scorpio sign is the natural 8th house, the finances of your spouse or your partner, the finances of your spouse or partner could face an abrupt transformation. So people would be, motivated to bring in a change in their financial wealth, in their stability, and also learn more about astrology, occult sciences, and hidden facts, hidden figures, whether they are politically, geographically, or any way out there. Right? So that's what we are going to experience with Mercury first going into the sign of Scorpio, then going retrograde in this sign of Scorpio. I might come up with another video of specifically Mercury going retrograde in the sign of Scorpio and how to differentiate it with the retrogression in the sign of Libra. But for now, we will discuss and stick to this matter only, because we definitely have a lot of technicalities, like Mars is also going to enter the space. Mercury is going to have the lower degrees, then Mars is going to have the higher degrees, and then it is going to move back. Sorry, no, Mercury will have the highest degrees first and Mars will have the lower degrees, and Mercury will start moving back towards the Mars and then cross Mars, and Mars will move ahead. So all of these technicalities do play a very, very crucial and important role. Now, for whom this Mercury retrograde and this Mercury is going to get effect? That is for the people, either you are a Gemini moon or Gemini ascendant or a Gemini sun, or you are a Virgo moon, Virgo ascendant, or a Virgo sun, or you are going through your Mercury Maha, Antar, or Pratyantar Dasha in the month of November. Then only you are going to experience the intense effects of this Mercury retrograde and the transit in the zodiac sign of Scorpio. Now, let's just quickly get into the Muhurat chart. And this Muhurat chart, I'm going to talk about only Mercury, because the Muhurat chart of Mercury's transit in the sign of Scorpio is this, and the Muhurat chart for Mercury going retrograde is this, which we are going to discuss in another video. But today, let's discuss Mercury entering the sign of Scorpio for each and every ascendant. So the Muhurat chart is of Sagittarius. That means that this Mercury is going to give us lessons, higher understanding for us to open our bhagya, for us to learn the life lesson and work with it towards growing, towards bringing in growth into our life, and also to have spiritual understanding of life. See, Mercury is transiting in the 12th house in the Muhurat chart. And then the dispositor is in the 11th house. We have Ketu in the 9th house and Saturn in the 4th house. And Jupiter at the same time aspecting this Mercury from its exaltation sign. So definitely this is a very, very spiritual combination. This particular Mercury with its intense creation of incidents is going to transform our spirituality and our spiritual understanding. Now, This is the crux of the Muhurat chart. Now, let's start predicting for the Sagittarius ascendant. So for Sagittarius ascendant, Mercury goes into your 12th house. That means it would, be the subject for you to take care of your health, and also for you to be very considerate into your finances. You'll be thinking a lot. You'll be having intense, deep emotions that you will be memorizing in yourself. Like, it's like that you're revisiting your past memories, you're revisiting your past thoughts, and you're more into your imagination. This is your time to be highly observant, and all that observance that you're going to have is going to help you transform your perspective towards life, your perspective towards everything in your surroundings. So there's a very massive shift which you are going to experience in your belief system, in your opinions, and in the way you think, whether it is negative or positive. This Mercury can intensely dive you deep into intense emotions, and that too pessimistic emotions, because this is kind of a negative placement happening. But this negative situation or this negative emotion is actually going to help you heal, because 12th house is in itself is the house of healing. Other than that, it would indulge you more deeper into spiritual stuff, into spiritual sadhana as well, because you might experience a very transformative event within your life, a very transformative event because which will be triggered because of a loss situation, either loss in the matters of money or in the matters of people. Since this Mercury rules your 7th and your 10th lord coming to your 12th house, this means that it could be the transformation of your understanding or your communication within your partnerships with your partner as well. On the other hand, it also shows that there is going to be some transformation that is going to be required within your career. Your career is going to take a 360-degree turn around, maybe for good, maybe for bad. That depends on whatever is placed in your 12th house and however your Mars, the dispositor of the 12th house, is placed, and whatever dasha you're going through. But definitely it can bring about a lot of changes in your perspective related to your career, which would trigger changes to come about in your career, right? But definitely a transformative time. At the same time, you have Jupiter in the 8th house. Like, you are going to experience the responsibility of the intense changes, right? Next, we have the sign of Capricorn. So for Capricorn individuals, Mercury is transiting in your 11th house, the house of your desires, the benefits, the recognition. Mercury will allow you to actually, and take yourself into the endeavors which can from which you can gain very secretively. You will try to make secret connections, secret communications from which you would want to gain something. Now, this Mercury, when it will go retrograde in the 11th house, you will become too determined and too serious about your agendas and about your focus on gaining from the social circle. So you will be more careful, more considerate about what do you desire, and you would want to accomplish that. It's a journey where it is going to bring about certain changes in your career and changes in the way you present yourself in your career. This could actually lead to transformation because of an intense encounter within your social circle or within your colleagues as well. Now, this Mercury is the lord of your 6th house and also the lord of your 9th house. That means there's a major lesson that you're going to learn because of your freeness that you might have had before, or because of one instance of communication that you're going to have within your social circle. So be very careful of how you are interacting within your social circle. Do not give them any loophole to attack you in any way possible. right? But this particular Mercury in Scorpio in the 11th house can make you visit old friendships in order to settle the disputes or obstacles or arguments which you have had with them in the past. So when it goes retrograde, it will make you deal with the you know previous matters of gains, recognition related to career, or previous matters of love, or your associations, your friendships, so as to bring about a new change, bring about a new growth and new beginning into that 11th house, right? This Mercury can give intense events or sudden events to your to your elder sibling as well, right? This Mercury also, since it is the lord of the 6th and the 9th house, it will shift your perspective towards how you interact with others, how you socially present yourself, right? As far as technology is concerned, it is a very good time for you to bring in some change or to earn through technical changes or through technology as well. Now, next we have the zodiac sign of Aquarius. For Aquarius individuals, Mercury is coming into the 10th house. So definitely there's a major shift that is about to happen within your authority or within your career space. Mercury coming into the sign of Scorpio means that you would naturally see that your bosses develop a very secretive perspective towards you, and you will get the opportunity to change that perspective in their eyes. And that will be your decision whether to change that or to just leave it like that and to shift to a new workspace or a new place altogether or a new career altogether. Because Mercury coming into the sign of Scorpio in the 10th house means it is going to bring about transformation and intensity within your workspace, which would make you react and find out certain stuff which must have been happening in the career space. Also, when it goes retrograde, it will make you visit the old patterns of authority or the career dynamics. So maybe there would have been something which has happened previously in some other job. You might see that happening again. But this Mercury is actually giving you that platform to deal with it in a better way this time. So that's what Mercury is going to bring here. But definitely, Mercury will bring about intense changes and quick changes with the matters of your authority, with the matters of your career. So a little bit burden you can expect from the career end. And your responsibility and your authority would also be required in certain matters within your workspace. Now, this Mercury is the lord of your 5th house and also the lord of your 8th house. That means it is going to bring about, it is the matter or it is the time to bring about some transformation, some new knowledge, some new innovation within your endeavors of work. And that would also include a creativity and your intelligent decisions also. But be very careful where here we are going to have the connection of the 5th lord and the 8th lord all together in the 10th house, and that is being aspected from Jupiter from the 6th house, and that is exalted. That means your decision can be backed up by emotions, and that to emotions which are which basically have some negative or some deep intense underlining to it. Like, for example, you're not feeling well and you're having a certain certain feeling towards us, towards one particular person. You might use your authority or you might use your unfavorability for that person in a situation which even can backfire because of the retrogression. So just be careful of where you project your authority, how you are fulfilling your social responsibility. Try to be as humble as possible and as straightforward as possible. Right? Now, next we have the sign of Pisces. For Pisces individuals, Mercury is going into the sign of Scorpio in the ninth house, and it is going to go retrograde in the ninth house only. So, Mercury coming into the ninth house, it means it is going to intensely change your belief system. It is going to make you find out stuff which is going to impact how you believe or how you look towards your own morals. It is going to bring about situations in your life where you might use your morals in a very negative way or in a way to get something that you want. When this Mercury goes retrograde, it would want you to check your actions, check the agenda behind your actions, and then move forward with whatever you want to do. At the same time, this Mercury is going to actually lead you towards spirituality. It is going to give you some intense effect, an event in your life where you would have a question to yourself that why this happened to me? What is the lesson behind it? The moment you understand the lesson, that will be the moment when your perspective shifts and you start moving towards growth. But definitely an intense time for your father as well, in terms of their health. They have to take care of their health or make some routine changes within their life and within their routine life, right? This Mercury would also make you dive deeper into spirituality in mythological books and reading about mythology, listening or using technology to learn about the mythology, spirituality, and things like that. This Mercury is the lord of your fourth house and your seventh house. That means that the perspective shift is related to your emotions, and it is also related to how you interact with people. You are going to dive into very practical mindset and very much like of nitpicker about how you are associating and what the other person is bringing on the table when it is about relationships. So just not just like romantic relationships, but any sort of relationships you can call it about. Right. So majorly, it is going to change your beliefs, your association with others, your the way you feel your luck is handling, the way you perceive information, the way you learn, all of these things. Right. Now, next we have the sign of Aries. For Aries individual, this particular Mercury transit is happening in the eighth house. So this Mercury transiting in the eighth house will make you dive deep into the information of the eighth house. You would want to calculate the money matters of your marriage. If you are married, if you are not married, you will get a instance to actually check in or manage someone else's wealth or money. That could also be one of the situations, or it could even be related to insurance money, right? Then this Mercury coming into the eighth house also intensely brings in a change in your residence. So if you're planning to shift, this Mercury can bring about a shift of residence as well. Maybe some people are getting married. While this Mercury goes retrograde, that marriage scenario could play out, and then you can go forward and start living somewhere else. But definitely, whenever Mercury comes into the eighth house, there is always an intense change that we are going to experience. And since Mercury is about communication, adjustability, adaptability, coming into the eighth house, you would require to adapt in the worst situations so as to get better growth in the coming time. But definitely there's a back and forth scenario that you're going to experience in your relationships and in the matters and the ending of those relationships. So relationship scenario doesn't seem very well here. So be very careful with your communication. Be careful of what you are finding out and how you are actually expressing yourself into that finding or into that scenario. Right? This Mercury coming into the eighth house will make you go deep into research, investigation, the detectiveness, and finding out the truth of life and truth about the other people as well. It could even give you some intense moment with your in-laws as well, or something intense can happen in the life of your in-laws if you're married. Now, next we have the sign of Taurus. For Taurus individuals, Mercury is going retrograde in the seventh house. That means that you are going to have intense communication and situations within your marriage. Your partner can feel quite vulnerable at this point of time. Also, you will have deep communications. When Mercury goes retrograde, are bound to have deep communications about healing the relationship, and also about talking about the past conflicts, the past obstacles that you have had in the relationship. This is the time where you can expect a typical and significant change with your emotions towards the marriage, towards the marriage life as well. Even your partner would feel very, very intense at this moment and would experience some intense wave of emotions. This Mercury is the lord of your second house and the lord of your fifth house. This means that your investments and your money can go towards the partner or the partnership. Your money and your understanding of your decisions will very much be dependent. Your money decisions, your investment decisions, and every sort of important decisions related to family, money, and the children and investments is going to be dependent on the understanding of the partner. But partner will feel deep nostalgia, deep emotions, and also you are going to get that perspective out of, because of the disturbance in the seventh house, you are also going to get affected. Right now, this Mercury, when it will go retrograde, it is the time to deal with certain scenarios, certain transformations and obstacles, disputes, arguments, past disputes within the relationship or with the spouse, with the partners, and then to deal with it finally. Right now, next we have the sign of Gemini. So for Gemini individuals, this Mercury is going retrograde in the eighth house. There can be the instance where you'll have to pay off some debts, or you just have some conflicts, some problem, some cases, some legalities, or you had some visa applications that you have to deal with now. Now, this Mercury going into the sign of Scorpio in the sixth house means that your secretive nature and your secret communications can also lead you towards conflict and arguments and obstacles within your life. So you will have to be very, very careful within your workspace, especially, and within your marriage, within your relationships as well, because of your secrecy and because of your non-expressive nature, you can be subject to misunderstandings. Then when this Mercury goes retrograde, you will bound to deal with the past issues, with the past problems, even the health issues, even the past health problems could resurface, and you will have to deal with them. We have to deal with your anxious nature and your sudden aggressive nature, and then you have to move forward upon healing. But this is the time to get better with your routine, because your routine is going to, because something is going to happen very significant and suddenly and intensely, which is going to motivate you or bring about a compulsion that you have to bring in change, you have to bring in transformation with the sixth house matters. Now, this Mercury is the lord of your first and the fourth house. So that means that your health and your home matters, or decisions related to the home are the matter which is going to transform all these things, right? It could be that you might take a heavy loan for demolition of your home or the renovation of your home as well. That could also be the possibility for the Gemini individuals. All right, now next we have the sign of Cancer. For Cancer individuals, Mercury is transiting the fifth house. Whenever Mercury transits the fifth house, you go deep into the research of shares, speculative business, speculations, and also into your romantic life. You will feel that nostalgia about your past relationships when Mercury goes retrograde, but the intensity of romance, intensity of heaviness within your mind related to your past encounters, your sexual encounters, are going to be on your mind. You are going to very minutely, you are going to observe your romance, your romantic partner, and the way you are expressive, the way you are expressing. So there is definitely a major transformation in the way you react, in the way you take decisions, in your intelligence, because you definitely will go so deep into, perfecting your decisions, that you might end up taking decisions out of, that confusion, and then you would have to correct them, you have to get perfect with them, and then move forward. Similar thing is going to happen with your love matters. Also, you would see that your first child is going to experience some intense changes and is going to experience some repetitive pattern in their own life. Fifth house Mercury makes you dive deep into spirituality as well, and also you will be expressing yourself in a way where you have accumulated lots and lots of emotions for the longest time, and then it is coming out in the form of tears, in the form of like that, that tears that come out of frustration afterwards, right? And this would also make you overthink a lot. So just be very mindful of how much you are thinking, of how much you are, um, how much you are giving the pressure to yourself. And definitely this can bring about a lot of changes within your finances, within the way you are earning money. You might want to start something related to your related to your passion, related to your knowledge, related to your hobbies. You will dive deeper into research of your hobbies as well. Right now, this Mercury is the lord of your 12th house and the lord of your 3rd house. So definitely your skill, the house of your skills and your secretive talents, your hidden talents, is coming into the 5th house in the sign of Scorpio. That means there's a deep research about your skills. If you are a makeup artist, you would now want to learn and then get very skillful, practice it every day. If you are an actor, you would want to define the scripts, act over and over again, and get perfected with your acting skills. So whatever skills that you have, whatever hidden talents that you have, you would want to perfect them now, right? And also you will be revisiting upon thinking and the decisions that you have taken in the past. You would want to do that, and also you would dive deeper into astrology and occult stuff. Now next we have the sign of Leo. For Leo individuals, Mercury is coming into the 4th house. Whenever I see Mercury or Venus to be coming into water signs in the 4th house, I know this person is going to just bring in a massive change within their appearance. They get their hair colored, they get their their hydrofacial done or something like that. There's a transformative change, because when Mercury comes into the 4th house in the sign of Scorpio, it's like that you have discarded yourself for some time. You have not thought upon yourself for some time. So now you're changing with your emotions. You are thinking that I also deserve the love, I also deserve the pamper. Then you motivate yourself to do that for yourself. So that's the transformation, that's the shift of heart that you're going to experience with yourself. Now Mercury coming in the 4th house, you would also want to relax, have some time by yourself, learn, research on your own, and also to shift the residence as well, or to move to a new place, design it, or to design the existing place. So some energy is coming into the 4th house of cooking, of you connecting yourself with a home. But one intense effect that it will give is related to your childhood trauma. When Mercury comes into the 4th house, you become very calculative and very careful with the traumas or with the underlying emotions that you have had and you have kept hidden inside yourself. So now it's the time for you to deal with them. There will be some sudden and intense event happening within your home, which would motivate you to deal with your emotions, motivate you to deal with it. Will motivate, or I think motivate is the another term, but it will force you to deal with it. right? And to heal yourself with that childhood trauma of yours, right? So the emotional energy is quite high for Leo individuals. Now this Mercury is the lord of the 11th house, and it is also the lord of the um second house. So I think there can be some financial gain from property. There can be some financial or recognition that you can have to, because of your research work, because of your creativity, and because when you will put all your mind and heart into a endeavor and you will be able to present that, you will be appreciated for that. And your income for some reason is also going to come from some changes within the home or home endeavors or some research work. And it also means that your expenses would also be triggered because of some changes to be happening within the home matters. Right now, next we have the sign of Virgo. For Virgo individuals, Mercury is transiting in the third house in the sign of Scorpio. This means that this Mercury is going to test your courage to your nerves. This Mercury will dive you deep into information. It's like you're Googling all the time. You're asking Chat GPT, you're asking Google Gemini, the what is this, what is that, everything possibly you could do. But this is the time where if you are in a job scenario, you are going to bring about a significant change in your job. You're going to develop some skills, research on that skills, and take that forward in your endeavors. There's going to be a major shift happening in your income based on your skills. Maybe you will shift into a career which is more based on your skills, where you know your skills and your expertise is going to be required so as to earn money. Now, this Mercury is the lord of your 10th house and the lord of your first house coming into the third house. That means you're going to very actively pursue watching information online. Although it doesn't mean that you're going to be active online and talking to so many people at the same time, but definitely it will make you have secretive information and secretive communication. You would want to, this is a time when Mercury goes retrograde. You will have to deal with your own thought process. You will have to deal with your own fears and your own negativity. That's basically the lesson this Mercury retrograde is going to create, so that it helps you gain that courage to deal with that fear, to complete that fear, to finish that fear within yourself. So that's what this Mercury is going to create when it comes into the third house. It will make you have intense situations also in your surroundings, and it can give intense situation to your younger sibling as well. This can even make you travel or be subject to frequent changes within your work, within your job, or within your home residence. But Mercury coming into the third house is in the sign of Scorpio. You definitely want to transform something in your life, something which is very important, which is very deep, and it is a deep issue that is going to be activated, and then you'll have to deal with it. Okay. And your efforts are going to change. The way you make efforts, the way you take actions, the way you react towards courage and towards such situations where courage is required, that is what is going to be tested when Mercury comes here. But definitely you are going to dive deeper into technology, into technical gadgets. You're going to learn so much, research so much about technology, astrology, and every research material and matter. Right now, next we have the sign of Libra. For Libra individuals, Mercury is coming into the second house. Mercury, when comes into the second house in the sign of uh, you know Scorpio, it is actually a motivating factor where a person wants to earn more or have more possessions just out of jealousy from someone else. You will see for this whole month, the time when Mercury is in your second house, you will feel very much affected by other people in terms of jealousy. Like maybe the other person has more wealth than yours and they show off to you, and then you will be like, I'll show off more, I'll say more. I'm not going to get dominated because of them telling me about their recognitions. Rather, I am also going to tell them about my recognitions. That will actually bring in a major transformation in your lifestyle, in your money, how you spend your money, in your assets, and in the matters how you um, how you basically save money as well. This Mercury going retrograde in the second house, it can bring about a major expense that could come about, and major transformation in your money matters as well. This Mercury is also the lord of the 12th house and the lord of the ninth house coming to your second house. So that means that there is going to be a major expense that is going to come about, but along with that, the money advancement is also come about there. This is the time where you would develop ideas to earn money or to transform your assets. You might be looking forward towards investing your money somewhere, or bring in investments, like solid investments here. Mercury coming into the second house also transforms, in the sign of Scorpio, will also transform your relationship with your family. There can be some intense event or intense situation happening within your family, which can bring about changes in your perspective towards them, or within your relationship with them. Sometimes it actually acts as a very, very positive placement, but because it brings about, it's like an intense fight broke out, and then just the relationship, and the secrecy that we have with our parents. Sometimes we don't tell them the whole information, we don't tell them where we are feeling bad and what affected us, and they even don't tell us that what affected them and why they are feeling bad. And once, when that blunder happens, when that drift communication happens, then things settle down. We understand, just our, regardless of that we are understanding it out of a fight, but we understand that this was the issue which was underlining, and now we have to improve it. That is the scenario which you are going to have within your family life, with your family. That is the situation that you are going to experience. Definitely an intense situation. Now, lastly, we have the zodiac sign of Scorpio itself. So Mercury is coming into your ascendant. You will be very cautious about your health. You'll be very considerate about what you will want to find deep secrets about health, nutrition, and you would want to be very active, and balance your everyday nutrition. This Mercury is the lord of your 11th house and your 8th house. Sudden events can definitely approach you. You may experience suddenness, not just in your surroundings, but in your nature as well. This Mercury is going to transform you. First, this Mercury will definitely give you some sadness. This will give you some nostalgia, you thinking about your past relationships, your past friendships, your relationship with your parents, your family, whatnot, every sort of relationship, and whether it is friendship, whether it is anyone you interact with, you're going to think about all the mistakes that has been done, or how to improve that how to improve it. Sudden changes can come into your health. Sudden revelation about your health could also come in. Then you have to go get in aligned with your with you know with your nutrition, with your routine repetitive life, the way you interact with your social circle. You might shut down emotionally and shut down communication wise with your social circle, only to bring about the best within you. So definitely Mercury in the first house makes a person very, very overthinker, because there is the thought process is always on the mind. The intense emotions, the intense thinking, the curiosity of knowing all the secrets is always on the mind. So coming into the first house, it will give you that intense mindset and a little bit of negativity also for this timeline. But then when it goes retrograde, it will make you deal with that negativity. It will make you deal with your hidden fears and then come out of them. It can bring about past old patterns, and that too negative patterns associated with your habits. And that is not just for, I would say, Scorpios, but also for Libra people as well. So you will have to break old patterns of bad habits. That is going to be challenged. That's why a significant changes in your overall life are going to take place and happen. Okay, guys. So this was my analysis. That must have been an hour-long video, I suppose, right? So I hope this helps and gives you good information into the subject. We'll see you with the next video. Bye-bye. Take care.